Hello, welcome back. So this one is all about my first week after surgery. So it's going to be a tight one. It's going to be weird because there's going to be spliced videos because I'm filming this in week 5. It's funny how quickly time can catch up with you. So I'm going back in time a little ways to share with you that first week and what happened, because we were actually in Perth for surgery. I live in Karratha, which is up northwest of Western Australia. So it was a flight down to Perth to have the surgery done. So we were staying in total for 9 days, and it was 5 days after I was released from the hospital that I was in the hotel room or the apartment that we rented. So I've got a little list. So the hospital, so if you want to know more about actually what happened in hospital, that's a separate video to this. So it's back a couple. I'll link it somewhere. And so you can check that out more specifically as to what happened for me in hospital. But after leaving the hospital, we had 5 days. So before we flew home, including a visit with the surgeon during that time. So after leaving the hospital, the very first thing I did was check out my medication bags that I was sent home with. 2 big bags, and which was really fascinating. So I did a video in the hotel room on these, and this first one is all about what I was sent home with. I apologize in advance for the sound. My phone is really on its last legs, but I hate upgrading my phone. I can't stand it. Everybody loves getting new phones. Not me. I wait until my phone is on its last legs, and it pretty much almost is. So apologies for the sound, but you'll get the idea. Hello. I want to just show you all the lovely goodies that I got from the hospital when I left. Check out these bags of medications. It's astounding. So, plus I've got a few of my own little remedies here. So, it seems that they fall into 2 categories. Pooping and pain seems to be what's going on here. So let's have a look. So the first thing that I've got here is something called lactulose, which is daily for the management of constipation. That's a must, I've been told by the nurse. Next I have Zoprol, or this is anti-reflux medication, so I don't know how to say the word, but it's dissolvable, so you kind of chew it up. It's got a weird kind of taste to it. But it's all right. So you chew that up instead of swallowing tablets, because it obviously will absorb better. So I think, from my understanding, I'll be on anti-reflux for a few months, at least until they decide whether or not, everything's going on. Let's see what's next in this list. Another pooping one. This is an enema box, not like the enemas that I'm used to. So this is a very small container, so it's a little thing that you just stick up your butt and makes you go. So they did one for me in the hospital the day before I left, because I wasn't allowed to leave until I pooped, and it actually worked really well. So they gave me that. And then there's another big one here, Macrovic, and another, again, constipation. So this one is powder for oral solution. So this is obviously something you drink once a day, by the looks of it, 1 sachet daily. So yeah, so they're really covering the pooping angle with 1, 2, 3 for poops. So we know that they're serious about that. Okay, next little box we've got here is the pain box, the pain bag. So in this one I have long sustained release, so this goes long, and it's Plexia. I had this when I had my knees done, and I requested this because I had problems with tramadol. So I'm on this still twice a day. I'm not sure how long for, they say for. They've got one here on Denestron. And this one dissolves again. A lot of the things dissolve under the tongue. So this one though is for nausea or vomiting, and I'm meant to have this 4 times a day, but I've only been having it twice a day, so I don't seem to be having too many problems with nausea. So that's a good thing. This one is a dissolvable tablet for pain when you really need it, so it's like a quick action one. Buren, God, the names are terrible, aren't they? Yeah, some sort of morphine, so it's some sort of morphine, one would assume. Tamagesic is also what it's called. So there's not many in that box. And then the last one here is an immediate release, so and it's the same as the Tapentadol that I had that's long release. So this short release I've still used from time to time with my knees. So if I've been on like when we drive from Karratha to Perth, I will often use those for the drive because they're great. So yeah, so and there's a lot of things, because now I can't have Nurofen of any kind because that affects the tummy. And so, but from what I understand, the Palexia is fine throughout that. So the only other thing that I've got is Kitty Panadol, because it comes in liquid form. So if I don't feel like I need the hardcore pain relief, which I'm kind of getting to the point where I feel like maybe Panadol's enough. And so this one, it's horrible. It tastes all right, but it's this really strange, really thick liquid. So the pharmacist told me how much to take for my age group, as opposed to, this is for up to 12-year-olds. So I've only had that since I've been back in the hotel, so a day. And I got myself some arnica tablets, homeopathic drops. This is for internal bruising. So of course there'll be a lot of internal bruising going on. So I swear by arnica. I had it when I had my cesarean, when I had my hysterectomy, and my knees. Arnica is brilliant, and I went and got the arnica cream as well, because I've got all these fabulous bruises, as you can see, from the IV, because they stick, you know, my veins collapse. So that's my little pile of goodies. So it's literally a job of sitting down and working out what you need of everything, and writing a list of when to take what, because there's so much. So, but yeah, it comes down to 2 categories, poop and pain. So, but other than that, I think I'm doing well. And yeah, I'll talk to you soon. Bye. So, pain and poop, that's what it was all about in that first week. I'm happy to say now, further down the track, that neither of those are an issue for me. So that's something to look forward to, is that eventually it's not an issue. Okay, so the next video is me trying one of those liquids for pooping, because at this point, when I left the hospital, I'd only pooped once with the enema, or twice, you could almost say, almost, really teeny tiny amount. And so I figured that was a pretty important thing to get on top of, more than the pain. I wasn't really in a lot of pain at that point, so I thought I'd better take that. So this is someone who doesn't have such like a big sweet tooth. I'll have, you know, cake and coffee like the next person if I go out, but it's not my go-to. I don't, you know, like, I'm not a fan of dessert at night, things like that. So check this video out. And again, the sound, apologies. That's like simple syrup. That's like simple syrup. So sweet. I am so thankful I don't have to take that now, because I don't think I'd cope, because at some point there, which I'll explain in a future video, I developed a massive aversion to sweet things, and I really struggle with it at the moment. Who knows how that plays out and whether that changes. But I literally woke up one morning, I couldn't do sweet things. So yay that I'm pooping without it. Okay, so what else happened? All right, so apart from the rhythm of just walking along the river, because the hotel apartment that we rented is right on the river, so across the way you can see the city of Perth, which is really lovely. And we walked and walked and walked along the river every day. My husband is great like that. He did the same when I had a double knee replacement a couple of years ago, drove me to the river every day because I couldn't walk down there. We were where we stay is on a little hill, and we stayed in the same place. It was on a little hill, and because I was on crutches and everything, I couldn't go down that little hill. So he would drive me to another part of the river. We would walk, back we came. So we did the same thing. It was just walking, because basically the rest of that time was all about nailing the liquid diet. Okay, the nourishing liquids, as it's called. So that's the first 2 weeks of your food intake, which for me started in hospital. So nourishing liquids was what it was all about. And it's a job. Those first couple of weeks, in fact, I would even say now, it's a job. I am constantly tracking, have I had enough water? So, you know, have I had enough water? Have I had all my, intake for the day? It's kind of a job to keep things the way it should be. So, and that's the beginning. It's just to stay healthy because I feel really good. So I know I'm doing a good job of looking after everything. So in the hotel room, we have what's called a good grocer, which is a fancy IGA if you don't have one in Australia here, downstairs. And we always stay at that place because of the good grocer downstairs. It means that if I'm in hospital, my husband can go downstairs and get his own meals all pre-prepared. They have bain-maries, they have cooked roasts. You can just do what you want, right? So we always stay there so that he can just go downstairs and get what he needs. And so when I got out of hospital, the first port of call was going in there to figure out what I was going to eat on nourishing liquids, because clearly flying down, I couldn't take a whole bunch of things with me. I had to do it on the fly. So I ended up finding a whole bunch of soups that were really like as close to being homemade as you could possibly get. Expensive, but I knew that they were really good quality, and they had about 8 or 9 different like sizes, and they were just in pouches. So I ended up buying those, and I forgot to take a video of what I did during this time. So I actually took a video a few days ago. Ollie filmed it for me to show you what I did. So I'm going to insert that now. So we're back home, and I was not in the headspace to think of all the videos I needed to do when we were in the hotel. But I watched Erin Branscombe, I think her name is, from My Level 10 Life, and she went to Mexico for her VSG surgery, and she recommended taking a sieve, and I thought that was a really good idea. So I took the sieve with me, but after being in hospital, I realised that I needed to track how much I was actually consuming for my surgeon, for my dietitian. And so downstairs from where we were staying was a fancy little kitchen shop. And so this is what I got. So it's a fancy little jug and has got the mils in it so that I could measure what I was drinking and what was left over. And I think it was nice enough that I drank and ate straight out of it. So that was kind of the easiest option. So all I did was, and it just happened to be the perfect fit, is I would buy whatever soup from the grocery store downstairs that was fairly clear and liquidy. So, and then I would pour in and sieve as much as I could. And I tried lots of different soups while I was there just to see how I was doing. And if you've got someone with you that will eat the rest on toast or something, if you can stand it, then that's awesome. And that'll do for now. But you can see inside, that gives me almost 100 mils. So in the beginning, that was pretty much all I could take anyway at any given time. So I highly recommend, if you have to go somewhere or if you don't have these at home for your first phase, they're the go. So thanks to Erin for that advice. I'm sure it was her, but I will link her YouTube channel below because she's got an amazing amount of information on her journey, which I think was about 3 years ago now. So I will eventually do a video telling you all the different people that I've watched and why, and that I found really inspiring and helpful as I went along. So I will do that at some point. But Erin's, I'm sure it was Erin that I saw the sieve thing on, so I will link hers down below. Okay, so that was it. So on the Thursday, we went and saw my surgeon, who gave me the all clear to fly home on the Sunday. Plus he gave me my photos, which I won't show because I'm sure YouTube won't like it, but on the other side of this piece of paper is my photos of the inside of my tummy. And so that was great. So he was happy with how everything was going. And then I think we did a bit of shopping. Basically, we did things that I was moving all the time. So shopping was great because we don't have a lot of shops up here. So in one lot of shops, though, my husband said to me, go and get a dress or get something that is your goal. And so he sat at a cafe. And if you know my husband, he doesn't like sitting at cafes. So I was very thankful while I ran around Karrinyup Shopping Centre to try and find my goal outfit. And it was really strange because as I was walking around, I was like, I don't like any of this stuff. And when you suddenly, when you've been overweight for so long, 30 years, so since I was in my early 20s, you buy what fits, you buy what you think makes you look smaller, you buy what covers all the bits that you don't like about yourself. So whether you like the dress or not, or the outfit, is irrelevant, right? You know exactly what I'm talking about if you're watching this. So it was really strange to be looking for something that I got to pick that I liked. And I struggled. So I'm walking in and out of Seed and Witchery and all these places thinking, nope, don't like, nope, don't like, nope, don't like. Eventually I spotted Country Road and I went, something nice, classic, simple. So I went into Country Road and I purchased, and I will put it up here somewhere, a very beautiful dress, and in their biggest size, which is a size 16. So for my American friends, Australian sizes are very different to yours. I think we're higher, I think we're higher because we don't go down to anything less than I think a 6 is like your 0 or something. So so size 16 is kind of their highest size. And so I bought this dress. And anyway, so the first thing I did when I got home was had to try it on so that we could see where it was at. Took a photo of that. So stay tuned for that one. So because that's exciting, that one. Apart from that, that's all we did. We visited Ollie's mum and did a few things like that. So yeah, so it was a trip of trying not to do too much, but still moving consistently. So I think we nailed that. Okay, so flying home day on the Sunday. This was an eye-opener and a warning for you guys if you are flying to your surgery or you're traveling, even if it's traveling in the car. When you are no longer hungry, it's easy to forget to eat or drink, particularly if you're with somebody like my husband who can go all day without eating. And then he'll eat a lot at night to make up, because he's worked in a job all his life where it's hard to eat during the day. So he would come home and that's when he consumed most of his calories. So when you're with somebody who can quite easily just not think about eating and you're not hungry anymore, because I have not been hungry. at all. Still at week 5, I'm just into week 5 and I'm still not hungry at all. So basically we got up, we slept in a bit, but then we got up, we had to pack the bags, check out, get to the airport, take back the hire car, walk a million miles from the hire car to the airport, what do you call it? The check-in area, and then get to your gate. And by then we were like 20 minutes to boarding, so it was too late to buy a coffee because you're going to line up for that long. And I think I had a coffee in the morning. I think that's all I had a coffee. So by the time we flew home, it's 2 hours flight, and got home, so it would have been 5 o'clock in the afternoon by the time we got home, and all I'd consumed all day was a small coffee. No water, no food. So I felt horrid. I felt horrible. So even though you're not hungry, you like totally dehydrated, you don't feel right. So just be careful and be wary. If you've got travel days, if you've got days in those early few weeks until you've got a bit of a routine going on, it's so easy to forget to eat and drink. It's got to be like, that's got to be the first thing that gets planned. If you're going somewhere, you've got to stop and go, no, first we need to plan how I'm going to eat this day. And that was definitely a big mistake on my behalf on that travel home day. So, and one that I will never repeat. So, so that's just a heads up for you. So, because it is easy to forget. So that's it. That is the catch up for my first week post my gastric sleeve surgery. So I have got many more in the works. So please subscribe if you want to hang out with me and hear my experience. And I will see you on the next video. Bye.